Hey Divi Nation, welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. And in this tutorial today, I'm going to be showing you how to animate letters for some unique text designs in Divi. Don't forget to check out the video description for more information, including a blog post that goes along with this tutorial. So without wasting any time, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started. All right. So welcome everyone. Feel free to jump in the comments and let us know you're there. Let us know where you're from. And of course, ask any questions that you need to ask in that in the video chat there so that we can, hopefully I can get to them or someone else in the chat can help out. That's the goal of this. In addition to showing you some cool things to do in Divi, we also want to help you in any way we can along the way. So you're looking at my screen right now. Hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. If the audio is coming in, the stream's clear, or at least clear enough. All right. Hello, everyone. Igor, Marius, Carrie. All right. Let's see. Looking good in YouTube. Hello in Facebook over here. We got Bertrand. Thank you for confirming that the audio is good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. This is a preview of what we're going to be doing today. If you're familiar with Divi and the animation, the built-in animation options, basically what we're going to be doing is animating individual letters, adding some, custom duration time and delays and things like that to create some unique animations for each letter that, when combined, create a nice, unique text design whenever you're scrolling through your page. So I'm just going to refresh my page, excuse me, so you can see this in effect. You can see some of these animations happening. If I scroll down, you'll see this one. That one's a little bit crazy. And this bottom one is kind of like a custom design. I'm going to do that one for you again just to show you. It's kind of has a little timing delay there. All right, so that's where we're going, and it's going to be, we're going to be using, the display flex property to kind of align all these letters. I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty simple. Hopefully, we can do this without any problem, and you can understand it pretty clearly going forward. But the first thing we'll need to do is make sure you have Divi installed and active. And because really all we're going to be using is the Divi theme and the Divi builder options. All right, so all right, let's get started. All right, so here's my fresh page. What we're going to do is, this is a new regular section here, add a row, one column row, and then what we're going to do is add a text module. So this is going to be a bunch of text modules we're going to basically align next to one another. And let's see. In each text module, we're basically going to have one letter. And so we're going to spell out the word here, Divi design. So I'm going to start with the letter D in my text module. And I'm going to save it out because I'm going to start adding some, this is going to be a white letter. It's going to be hard to see. So before I continue on with my adding my text modules, I'm going to back up and go to my section settings. And in here, I'm going to add a custom background image. So I'm going to go here, add an image. This is just one of those abstract background images from one of our pre-made layouts. I'm going to add that in there and change my position to bottom center so I can see the bottom portion. All right. So now that I have my background image on my section, let's go ahead and customize my row settings while I'm here. Basically, the only thing I'm going to do for my row settings is going to be change my gutter width to 1. So I'm give it a custom gutter width of 1, which will basically take out any custom margins between modules. So that I don't have to later on, take out that margin in between modules. So that'll be nice, setting it to 1 there. In a little bit, I'm going to set give my column here a display flex, but I'm going to hold off on that so you can see that functionality when the time comes. So I'll put a pin in that for now. So I have my section ready to go, my rows ready, and I have my first text module with my letter D. So I'm going to go back to my letter D text module there that I first created. And let me go ahead and update the design settings a bit. I'm going to go ahead and set my text font to Rubik. Rubik is kind of like one of those fonts that was designed like the Rubik's Cube to fit in a box. So I like the way that it looks in this design here. So a Rubik font, text font weight, let's go ahead and leave it as regular. And then I'm going to change my text font style to uppercase and change my text color to white. Text size, I'm going to give it 80 pixels on desktop. And I'm going to open up my mobile options here. And for tablet, I'm just going to set it to 50 pixels, make it a little smaller. And then for phone, I guess I'll put it something, I think 30 will work, yeah. 30 pixels on mobile. All right, so let's go back to desktop view. And now I'm just going to set my text orientation to center. And now that basically takes care of the initial design of my text letter here. But I do want to add an animation to my first letter. So the idea being add an animation to your first letter, and basically we're going to add a delay to each one of our letters so that the animation kind of falls like a domino effect, and we have the effect we're going for. So animation's going to be slide, and I'm going to bring it to my animation direction going to be up, so I want it to slide upward. And animation duration, this is going to be the same for all letters, but I'm just going to give it a 600 millisecond animation duration, the complete time it takes for the animation to complete. And then for the delay, I'm just going to delay it a little bit, give it a 100 millisecond delay. And for the intensity, I'll leave it at 50%. And the animation starting opacity, I'm going to actually put at 100% because I want to see the letter the entire time of the animation. I'll leave my speed curve as ease in, out, but you can always change that later or tweak it however you like. But for now, I'm going to save out my text module. And it looks like I think I need to add some padding here that I forgot to add. So I'm going to do that to my row here. I apologize. I think I'm skipping some steps. All right. All right. I'm just checking my notes here to make sure I didn't mess anything up. All right. Okay, I think we're good. I will eventually want to add some more padding there. So let me just go into my row settings and add some padding now. I'm going to add some custom padding to my row. I'm just going to give it a 5 VW. The VW is a viewport width, and which is relative to the width of your viewport, your browser, which will make things nice and responsive. All right, so now it'll give us more room to work with. The padding is really there for that animation to have room to work and to show nicely. So there's my first one. At this point, it's all about just duplicating my text module. And since I'm spelling out the letters Divi, or the word Divi space design, I'm just gonna duplicate my module there multiple times. And it looks like I need to add a line height. So my text module needs a line height. That's why it's not, it's too squished together. So I'm going to update that to 1.6. There you go. All right, so now I can duplicate it and it has enough room. So I'll duplicate it, see, Divi space, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to duplicate it a whole bunch of times. And then I'm going to start adding my letters. Now, if I wanted to, I could just click in here and maybe do it inline, but I'm just going to click in here and add an I for there. And then I'm going to update my animation for that letter. Just going to delay it a bit. And I think what we're going to do is delay it by 100 milliseconds for each letter. So let's just bring it up to 2 milliseconds. And then keep everything the same. And I'm just going to update the next one with my next letter, make it a V, update my animation to now a 300 millisecond delay. All right, next letter is another I. And then let's do 400 millisecond delay. And for my space, I'm actually going to just add the HTML code or entity for a space, which is that. And you can see it in the blog post if you're wondering what that is actually. But that's just basically going to render a space. And then for the next one, I actually don't need to add an animation delay for that space because we won't see it. But so I'll go into my next letter, and it actually is a D, so I'm going to keep that. Change my animation to, I believe it's 500 at this point. And then continue on, increasing my animation delay by 100 milliseconds with each letter. All right, 700. Oops. I accidentally clicked inline there. Let me save it out real quick. All right, come back here, make sure. All right, so there's my eye. And then all right, 700. All right, here's my S. Let's make that 800. All right, 2 more letters. And this is really the most time-consuming part, is just doing this part, because afterwards we'll use the multi-select to change all of these settings at once. So 800. Oh, and I can't spell. I just realized that. Okay, I'll have to fix that. Change this to an S. Make that an I. Okay. And then my last letter is an N. Animation is going to be delayed by 1,000 milliseconds at that point. All right, I may have messed up, but we'll check it in a moment. But now that I have all my text modules created with their animation set as a slide, upward slide, and an animation delay by 100 milliseconds per letter, now the last thing I want to do is add my flex, display flex to my row. So open row settings, go to my custom CSS for my row. And then for the column, make sure it's the column, I'm just going to add display flex. And you can see that all of the text modules magically align horizontally next to one another. And so I'm going to save that out, and let's check our results. And there you go. I think we have our design. I think I have 2 letters with the same value there, the I and the G. So I'll just need to tweak that. And let's see, the I. Oh, this is a good tip. If you find it difficult to hover over things, just go ahead and open up your option menu or settings menu down here, and click the either the click mode, which will allow you to hover over them nicely before selecting, and which will make it easier. So I want to get that I animation fixed. Let's see, the S. All right, so it's my G that needs to be updated. So that one needs to be changed to a 900, not an 800. Okay, so now we're all fixed. Let's save that out. And there you go. So there's your initial design, the basic idea behind it. And I know that took a longer than maybe you wanted, and you're probably getting bored. So I'm going to come and check out the the comments here. All right, so let's see. Oh no, it looks like we were buffering for a while. Hope that has been fixed. It looks like my stream's coming in pretty clear now. Okay, good. Looks like we're good now. All right. Yes, Sarah, thanks for pointing out the spelling. I should have looked at the comments earlier. Let's go. Yes, Lewis, it is very easy to do. Thanks for the support there. Uncle Social asked, why did I use absolute units for the font size? Yes, I also like to use relative units, like VW length unit for font sometimes as well. The reason why, honestly, because the final design that I'm going to, it would work if you used VW length units, especially with this design, because it would respond nicely. However, whenever I wanted to, create a more box-like design in this last one here, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. The one down here, I needed a more predictable sizing. because I wanted to make them more square and look and not shrink so much on different browsers. So that's the really, I think, the ultimate reason, if I'm remembering my thought process, that I did. But and I also think that for length VW length units, they tend to grow fairly large, and it could get away from you. So you kind of have to find that perfect medium for the right size. But good question. Let's see. So here's the beauty of this setup. Now that we have everything in place with our delay in place by 100 milliseconds per letter, now we can just adjust the actual animation style. And let's go ahead and do another example here so I can show you. I'm just going to duplicate the section here. And I'm going to use, let's go ahead and get that click mode back. And I'm going to use multi-select. You can do this by, you can actually go into the wireframe view if you like and do it that way. But I think we're safe to do it in the front end here, as long as we have click mode selected and we use multi-select. So I'm just going to hold down Control or Command if you're using a Mac there. And then I'm just going to, actually, I apologize. It's not, for this one, it's actually easier to hold down Shift. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click on my first letter, and then go all the way to the last letter, and then click on that one. And it's going to select all of them in that column there. I know it looks like it's not in one column, but it actually is in one column. And then I only need to click on one of these settings icons, and this will deploy my element settings modal box here. And this will allow me to update all of these text modules at once. So I'm going to go to my design, go down to, animation, and I only want to change, let's say, the animation style. And let's go ahead and do the this one I called in the blog post anyway, the reversed zoom text effect or animation. And I'm going to change it to zoom. And so with zoom, of course, it's just going to start small and grow larger. But actually, if you set the, I'm also going to set my animation direction to center, and then my animation intensity, I'm actually going to increase it. I'm going to break the rules a little bit, and I'm going to increase it by 200%. And that's basically going to make go all the way, shrink all the way down, and then kind of reverse itself back 100%. And so it's going to initially look like the text is reversed or upside down. And then it's going to shrink and then grow back to the normal state. But all I had to do was change that, and it should update the entire design. I'm going to save it out, and let's refresh, and you can see the bottom design there, how it starts off as a reverse and then zooms back into the normal state. I thought that effect was pretty cool. I hadn't really seen it before, and I stumbled on it while I was playing around with all of these cool animation effects. So that's just one simple way you can do it. And of course I'll do one more, but you can have a lot of fun testing out these effects. Let's see which one I want to do next. Let's do the let's do the stand-up one. The stand-up text animation. This one, let's go ahead. I've already duplicated my section, so I'm going to go in and use multi-select again. Select all of them. Open up my settings here. Then I'm going to go to my animation. And for this one, I'm going to use flip. And let's do the animation direction, maybe left. Yeah. Yeah, let's do left. I think that's it. And then animation intensity. Might be wrong, but I might have had that wrong. So I'm gonna test it out and we'll explore it together. Let's see. Let's keep the animation intensity. Let's bring it to 100. So animation intensity basically kind of increases the distance, um, or I guess it's hard to show you here, but it basically makes it more of a drastic effect. So if you're doing a slide upward, it'll start lower if your intensity is at 100%, and you can even set it to like 300%, and it'll be like outside of your section and then come up way high or something like that. So I'm gonna set it to 100, and I'm gonna save it and just see what we have, because I want to make sure that left is the right position, because in my mind I'm thinking it might not be. Yeah, so that was not the one I was looking for, but that is a cool effect. It just kind of has like, that's the domino effect there. Just folding to the left there. But I'm wondering, let me go ahead and do my multi-select again, and I'm going to change it from the left, and I'm going to go upward. I'm going to save that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, yeah. So that looks more what I was looking for. And so what I'm going to do now is I have to go to my row. Oh, I'm sorry, my section settings. And I think if I just add, I'm trying to show you a cool tip here. If you add perspective to the row here, so I'm going to go to my row settings, sorry, and then I'm going to go to my custom CSS, and for my column, I'm going to add a perspective. And basically that just makes it look more realistic when it's doing its animation, like lifelike. It adds some depth or perspective to it. And let's just see what that looks like. And so you can see it adds kind of like a different effect to it. More realistic unfolding, if it were. So that's kind of how you play around with it and get the design you're looking for, or the animation you're looking for. Let's try to tackle that last one, but before I do that, let me jump in the comments here. All right, DA Allen, looks great and easy. Yes, it definitely is. Thanks for that. You're welcome, George from Miami. All right, let me see. All right, so Bob asked, any reason to ever turn off click mode? Good question. I guess it's just preference. I guess personally I've used the hover state so long that I find myself just using it as a default, but I also use click mode whenever I get into trouble in the front end and I need to, target a specific element that might be overlapping with something else. And grid mode is also good for that too. All right, looks like we're good on questions. Thanks, guys, for posting those. Last design. Okay, let's get into this one quickly. The last one here is going to involve a little bit more customization to my text module. So I got to jump in there, but we can do that with multi-select pretty quickly. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate this one here, the entire section. And I'm just gonna, so you can not be so confused, I'm gonna get this, add some margin to this bottom one so it kind of gets out of the way for us. So this is the one we're working on. And I'm actually going to delete the first, I guess, 5 text modules. So I'm gonna go to my wireframe view mode, and I'm gonna delete the first 5 just for the purposes of getting a nice, just one word example here of design. So now that I have my design in place, I'm going to go to my section settings. And this is going to be important because we're going to be adding some intensity to these animations so that they go off of the outside the section. So we need to set the overflow as hidden for our section. We could also do it at the column or the row level, but since we're doing big intensity, I'm going to do it at the section level. So open up my section settings, and I'm going to go to, this is actually with one of the new updates. So if you have the recent update of Divi, you can have these what are called horizontal overflow and vertical overflow settings. And basically what we're wrong again. Yes, no, that's wrong. I mean, that's right. Excuse me, losing my mind. All right, so horizontal overflow is set to hidden, and the vertical overflow is set to hidden. Basically, that hides anything that's going to overflow my section. Very helpful for design whenever you're trying to, move things around and keep everything contained in the section. All right, so I'm going to save that out. And now that that's done, I'm going to go into my row here. And I've already added my display flex for my column to my row. So I'm going to add another one, which is going to center everything. And it's going to use, this is also a property that is specific to flex. So I'm just going to justify my content, and I'm just going to put center. That's going to center my text and all those text modules like that. So justify content center, save that out. All right, so let's create our little blocks here for our letters. So I'm going to use multi-select, select all my letters, and I'm going to give them a custom margin here to give them some spacing. So 3% on the left, and I'm going to lock it so it goes to the right as well. And I'm going to give it a border of 1 pixel. And let's make that a white border. All right. And okay, let's go ahead and add our animation. Well, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to add my animation to, let's do a slide. So it's already set to slide, so I'm going to change my animation duration to 2000 because we're going to take some time with it. And animation delay, let's do 100. And because we're going to change them all in a second, let's do our animation intensity to be 300. So we're breaking the rules a little bit. That's going to start outside of the section, basically. And let's make it linear. And for for my width, I'm going to give it a custom width. And I've actually haven't tested out this new feature too much, but we do have an option now in Divi to set a custom width. Right, I think the default is auto. So if I change this to 130 pixels, now I can add the same width to all of my boxes there. So that's nice. I'm going to save that out. And let's just see what we have so far. Nothing. I've broken something. Okay. All right, let's save it out. Yep, I did something bad. So I'm just going to revert back. And you get to experience a complete fail on the live stream. I apologize. It happens. All right. Use my history state there. Go back. And it looks like I broke it way before that. All right, so I bet it has to do with... Okay. All right, I apologize. I think by introducing some of the newer features here with my design, I may have done something wrong. So I could go back and try and fix it for you. For example, let's just do it here really quickly. If I go to my header text, excuse me, well, you know what? I'm just going to call it a fail for right now, and hopefully I can get that sorted and maybe update the blog if it is something in the blog as well that is not allowing us to do that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the comments, and I completely apologize. Yeah, I definitely need a campaign to save Jason. Yeah. It's real. Yes, it's real life. Stuff happens. So for those of you who want to learn something, sometimes it means you have to go back to your history states and just retrace your steps and figure out what broke it. But I don't have any theories right now, but I appreciate the support nonetheless. And if anything, the designs that I did show you are easy to do. And so if you want to get more advanced on that last design, you can follow along in the tutorial. And I've even included a download of the layout on the blog post, so feel free to check that out as well. I think I've got all the questions. All right. I think that'll do it for today. That's all I got for you this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. That way you don't miss out on any of these future live streams, which we have another one coming up on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the weekly WP Roundup. So be looking forward to that. And we should be back here next Tuesday with another Divi use case live stream. And if you want to share your knowledge, skills, and expertise on the Elegant Themes blog, go ahead and check the video description for information on how you can contribute your own unique content. Thanks again. See you guys soon. Have a good day.